Hi, and welcome to At Home Art Lessons with the Art Groupies, where we develop great art habits. So we're going to be experimenting with this habit. His name is Stretch. Stretch is the type of groupie that loves to experiment. He likes to take risks and he likes to explore. We're going to do a little exploring and be inspired by the book We Are Roaming in the Rainforest, an Amazon Adventure by Laura Caribs and Ann Wilson. They create this beautiful story using lots of fun, exciting paper. And we're going to experiment and create this beautiful forest by first practicing and playing. So we're going to be creating what is called a collage. We're going to be creating lots of textures, especially for our background. And we're going to play. We're going to play with that art groupie Stretch. So we're going to play with a couple different types of techniques. One is with marbles. One is with a straw. And one is with a piece of yarn. So with each one, I get a different type of texture. I'm going to use some tempera paint that I've placed in an egg crate. And I watered my tempera paint down. It makes it a little bit easier to work with. The first thing I'm going to do is the yarn. And all I did was snip a piece of yarn and use a clothespin to hold it. I'm going to dip it in to the paint, and if you need to use a paintbrush to really get that yarn soaked, the wetter the better. And then you take your wet yarn and you move it across the paper, and it makes this beautiful feathery type of texture that is just amazing. And you want to try to do a couple different colors. The more colors you use, those colors blend and mix together and just create this beautiful textured design that we can use for our background. So that is the technique with some yarn. The next technique, same tempera paint, same watered down. We're going to take a straw, just a regular straw. We're going to dip it into the tempera paint, and we're going to put our finger onto the top part, and that's going to hold that paint in the straw, and then we just release. And you want to do this with a couple different colors. Place them around the paper. The more colors, again, the more interesting your design will be. It's not very watered down, so we'll water that down a little bit. And all you do is put your mouth on the other end, keep the other end close to the paper, and blow. Again, makes a really cool design. So that's the straw technique. The next technique that we're going to use, this one you want to try to contain into a lid of a box. And all we're going to use is some different sized and weighted balls. The big ones are to help the little ones move around. So I'm going to take some marbles and some BBs, and I'm going to stick them in some color. And I'm going to use a spoon, just a regular plastic spoon, and I want to take out not just the marble, but I want to take out some of that color too and add that on the paper so it moves around the color. Get out my other two marbles, or BBs I should say, and my last two. And like I said, you want to try to get some of that color out with it. And then all you do is very carefully move that box back and forth. The big balls will hopefully help those little balls move a little bit better. And again, you'll make this beautiful linear type of design that has all these lines throughout your art. and it just creates a nice, beautiful painted piece of paper. So when you're left with those, you want them to dry. The next part of our rainforest is drawing the animals. And there's so many different types of animals in the story. I'm going to talk about 3. First, I'm going to talk about the jaguar. Now you want to, this jaguar just looks overwhelming to draw. So you want to break it down into simple shapes, and you kind of want to start around the head. So the jowl part of our jaguar, if you break that part down into simple shapes, so one circle, and then the next part would be a triangle for the nose, and then the other circle for the 2 jowls where the whiskers come out. The next part is maybe 2 little ellipse shapes for the eyes, that triangle there with a letter Y inside it, with those jowls with some polka dots on where your whiskers are going to grow, and then another triangle up top for that snout to come down. So the next shape, after you figure out where you're going to place your jaguar, is a round circle for the jaguar's head, and then some more little circle shapes for his ears. Then I went ahead, and this one is a nice elongated oval. And that's pretty much the rest of the shapes as well. So your ovals for your legs, the paws, and you just kind of put them together as to how you want your jaguar to be moving through your jungle. And then a long, skinny oval for the tail. And then you want to think about what makes the jaguar different from a panther. Well, panther is black. Jaguar has all these beautiful spots on it, and the spots kind of go around in a circle with a little dot in the middle, so you can just have fun with those spots. So this is what I was left with after I colored him in, added the spots, and then cut him out. So this is my jaguar that I'm going to put in my collage. The next animal that I'm going to do is a sloth. How to draw a sloth. He's pretty simple. We just start off with a circle. Now, mind you, the head is upside down. This is the color for his forehead, and then the shape that has the eyes inside of it, and then a simple oval and a little smiley face for his mouth. And then I'm going to have my guy hanging upside down like they often do. So I did an oval for his body, and then again, ovals, skinny ovals for his arms and legs, and then triangles for his claws. So sloth looks a little strange, but very simple. And then for the texture of our sloth, simple little lines. So this is what I ended up with. And again, I used colored pencils to get these beautiful textures, and I used several colors and try to do some shading. So there's my sloth. The last animal, or should I say bird, is a parrot. So again, I started with the eye, just with a dot and a circle around it. And then I thought about his beak. So I started with a simple line here, a vertical line as to where the beak's coming out from. And then this line kind of looks like an upside down L. And then we attached another line that kind of goes up a little further, so the L starts in the middle, and then the top part of the beak comes down and joins, and then this bottom part of the mouth just kind of scoops up, so it's like a little letter V. And then we created a circle for the head of the parrot, and then break it down into an oval for the body of the parrot. And then I did a long skinny oval for the leg. The letter C kind of for those claws gripping onto the branch. And then at last I added that oval again, almost like more like a teardrop, I would think, because it's skinnier here for the feathers. And then I just used a wiggly line to dictate where those beautiful colors of the feather was going to go. So this is my finished product. After, again, I used several different kinds of colored pencils to color it in. Not just one green, not just one red. I used pinks, reds, maroons, So the more variety you use in your coloring, the better and more realistic it appears. So there are my animals. After my paper is dry, I then set out to cut it out to create this beautiful background. So I put these papers down first for the mountains, and then I cut out some skinny shapes after I used that yarn. Here's my marble shape, and then I just took some regular construction paper to make that grassy part where I would put my jaguar, where he's going to be walking. And then I could put some more papers in front of him. And what I did is I just took my scissors and sliced into it to get this grassy feel. And then you can take a pencil or a pen and just roll these papers around it to give it more of a realistic, fun feel. And then you can put them in front so he's like half in and half out. And have fun with the colors, because We Are Roaming is just made with some really beautiful colors that are just fun. And again, I use those papers. I can put some more interesting shapes in the background for some wild bushes in the Amazon. Maybe put some over here. So I'm thinking about this branch here. I could put my sloth in, and I could tuck one of the hands under so it looks like he's grabbing on. And 2 paws above it, 2 paws under. And really give that appearance that my sloth is hanging onto that tree. Can't really see him, he's curling up. And then lastly, I could have that parrot sitting on top of that branch holding on. And in the story, they use these like really fun looking trees. I've never been to the Amazon, so maybe this is what they look like. But again, all these fun little papers that you created, and some of them, especially with the straws, I let the straw dictate how I was going to cut that out, and it made for these beautiful organic looking crazy shapes that I thought I could use in my background of my collage. So have fun creating a collage inspired by the story We're Roaming in the Rainforest, an Amazon adventure. So they have some iguanas and some lizards and butterflies, some spider monkeys. This sloth here is hanging onto the tree. We've got some snakes. So you can add as many types of animals you like. But we are roaming in the rainforest, an Amazon adventure. I hope you enjoyed going to the Amazon rainforest with me and making a fun project.